Hello, South Pacific Alliance family. It's good to be with you. Hard to believe it's been 1 year as the district superintendent. A lot has happened. But a year ago, I came onto this camera and asking you to really consider prayer partners and put a lot of emphasis on prayer in the beginning. I still have a great emphasis on prayer because we need to be Holy Spirit empowered, and prayer leads the way for that. But the vision that we have, and I started last month in July introducing you to Tim Agnello and talking about missions mobilization. We have three main mission objectives out of the district office: missions mobilization, which we addressed last month, and then church advance or church health, that's another way to word that, and church multiplication or church planting is also known as that. And we're going to be talking about church planting. In fact, there will be a podcast in a few weeks with Dave Reynolds about church planting, church multiplication, and the whole greenhouse, and that will be released to you. But I really want to spend a moment just kind of revisiting church health, church advancement, and talking to you about the role, the vision that we have here in the district office. And it really starts, there's three main areas. One is the whole essence of leadership and leadership development, and Dave Reynolds is doing a great job teaching some leadership principles. And whenever that has an opportunity, I hope that you can jump in and be a part of that and learn about leadership principles. But one of the observations that I've had in this role over the past year is that there are fewer and fewer pastors. The cost of getting the education and finding good people who have leadership skill and a true pastoral heart on a biblical basis is harder and harder to find, which puts a greater and greater emphasis upon us developing our own leadership from within. And I really want to encourage you that as you look at your church, it can only be what you have for leaders. And if you don't have a process to grow and develop leaders, I really want to encourage you to begin thinking through that. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's been done for you. There's so many great resources equipping you. The national office has made this available to you. There's all kinds of resources on equipping you to help you walk people through leadership development. But also the Alliance Center of Leadership Development, or ACLD is what it's known as, has a school of ministry. Literally, you can take people within your congregation and they can go through a 2-year cohort situation and become qualified to become pastors of the Christian Missionary Alliance and meet all the qualifications. And I really want to encourage you to consider growing your leaders from within. Hoping that they get moved to you is just probably not going to happen anymore. And so begin to pray and ask the Lord to identify. You're going to have to decide what kind of a group you can walk through there. One of the most effective things that I had done is I really prayed and I was looking for 12 men, and later I needed to expand that to include women, but 12 individuals who would go through a 1-year journey with me, meeting once a month for a couple of hours and with assignments, and giving them books to read and discussion, and then turning them loose and really empowering them to become leaders. And it's fascinating to me about how many of those went on in ministry and leadership ministry, some leading a camp in one situation. It's exciting. That's making disciples. That's what the Lord asked us to do, to make disciples. Church health, church advancement is not about building an organization. It's about making disciples. And the very first step that we cannot overlook is to create leadership development opportunities. Secondly, the thing that has troubled me within my own ministry over the past 38 years, as well as what I'm observing around, is conversion growth churches. There's a lot of transfer growth when we have churches that are growing, but the conversion growth is a big concern, and I'm going to spend some time in the future talking about that as I'm going to have a conversation and go off to Wheaton College, part of a seminar there in regards to conversion growth churches through cohorts. I'm excited about that opportunity. I want to share that with you in the future as I have better information. If you're not a conversion growth church, look at your annual report and look, is there conversion growth? If not, you need to be prayerfully asking the Lord how. If we aren't evangelizing as a church, you are a dying church. Every church that isn't evangelizing is a dying church. That's a scary thought. But lastly, I want you to really embrace this, and that is Do you have a clear and defined vision for your church? I'm a little baffled how I go from church to church and I walk in and I discover they're just going through the motions. They have a sermon and they have some songs, and that's church. There's no vision to reach the lost. There's no vision to develop people. There's no vision to reach their community. No vision to see people come and grow in Jesus. I want to ask you, do you have a vision? Send me your vision statement. I'd love to see it. Lastly, a year ago, I asked you to get a prayer partner. Do you have a prayer partner? Are you praying once a week? It will make a difference. I sure do love you guys. I'm proud of you. It's hard. Our world has changed. But with the help of Jesus, being prayer dependent and asking for the Holy Spirit to empower us, we can make a difference. We're better together.